let's see. The audio, this blah blah blah. I'm setting up everything. So, yeah, I'm almost done, by the way. Like, yesterday I did some hacking on my own. Because... Why is that separate? Wait. I have no idea if this is listenable on stream. But I have another laptop. Let's just listen to that one then. Actually, I need to have more earplugs. Oh well, there may be a bit of echo, but it's fine. Just making sound. We have like Pavu on the other laptop. I don't think it knows what noise is. Hello? Digital output. So I'm watching my own stream on the other laptop, mainly to test this stuff. It says there's noise. I'll trust the system. If audio is bad, please let me know. But there should be a little bit of Stronghold music now going on. Oh well. Yeah, I was thinking, actually, what I really need to do, I was talking about starting another project soonish, after I finished what I'm currently building in Raster. I'm gonna make like a resume kind of thing, maybe in Elm, or maybe ClojureScript or something, I don't know. Do you have like some types in Clojure? Wait, I'll open up the hex screen. So, yeah. So today we're gonna finish the thing I want to build in Raster, like the message system. I want to finish that up, and then after I finish that, I will start a new little thing, basically for personal branding, but it will also be an open source project because I don't really care about sharing that kind of stuff. Yeah, like the reason that Raster is closed source is that it, I don't want to get into trouble with like, at some point I may want to have like investors in whatever, so having it open source would be harder to, you know, pitch it. But I'm nowhere near there. ClojureScript, same types. Yeah. Maybe I'll do a ClojureScript then. Because I've been meaning to get into Clojure. But I really want to have some types for this project. Well, I always want to have some types, but how does it work? So some types are basically they're either to the extreme. Data either is left A or right B. A, B, and now we can pattern match on right and left, so you can flip them, for example. Flip left A is right B. Right A. Oh, like left A is right A. Right A is left A. This will be flip either A, B to either B, A. But you can like do this pattern match kind of thing on that. That's, for example, useful if you have it's useful in all kinds of ways. It's the opposite of what we usually have in tuples. Like, programs are written as structures, which are products. And sometimes are like the opposite of that, from a categorical perspective. Co-products, called. 9%? What does it mean? Oh, I should have called the shop. Okay, I'll do that tomorrow. Oh, I should also kill the Luch. I'm not torrenting. That's crazy. So about the selling out, I'm not sure if that assignment, like that contract will continue, the Scala stuff. Because essentially they like proposed to change the terms to being like kind of employed but not really, and I was sort of okay with that, except it's probably gonna pay less, and he should call me back, but he hasn't yet. So maybe he'll just gives up. I just gives him a large sum. I wanna have this. It's selling out, right? But yeah. So I need to continue with like personal branding and all that stuff. But it's a pain to do. But what I want to do is make it more accessible for recruiters. Because I've like had to have these large bodies of text and they just have a hard time parsing it at the moment. So what I think they do is they look for certain skills on their checklist, like Java, Scala, or C++ or whatever, Bash, Linux, whatever, after discussing with the clients, and then they just want to see how good you are at that. And I want to basically provide search for that, right? So you enter Java and then you see the projects I've done with Java, which I maybe want to make in Clojure then. Well, it's lambda calculus, right? So we can totally figure it out. Probably. But Lumi has been excited about Clojure, whatever. And since I want to make it front-end only, might as well do that. Another friend of mine is also excited about Clojure, so... Although, yeah. I can send him the screen where I built Clojure. Could you? Clojure script. How does this work? How do you make a DOM in that? not confusing. So that is, I bet they're just building like Elm applications inside closure groups, like the Elm architecture. Because that's the only thing I've seen that's is competitive to Elm is Reflex and FRP. And then arrow-based APIs maybe. I have not looked at those. They're even more niche than Reflex. So let's go to something less niche. Closure script. It's not typed though. It'd be annoying. But I want to give Closure a try anyway, because well, people get really excited about it, which is enough reason for me to try it at least. But yeah, let's see how far I am. I think I'm mostly done. I'm ready for deployment, and then I just need to figure out settings. And I've already made the backend stuff for settings. Like, it's already reading from the database for settings, except they're always the same right now. We can't change them. So just need to add the opportunity to change settings. Oh my god. Okay, let's look at all your levels again. No, it's high. Okay. Maybe a bit louder. It's hard. So this is on the remote. Yeah. Oh, and I have another. I'm gonna make a building faster soon. It's a bit hard though. What I want to do, I thought about long and hard about this, because what I want to have originally was like basically a program that would manage shells. Let's just say that's not non-trivial to do. Tmax is an application that does that, but not the way I want it. I've looked at it before. I think it's even on stream that I'm looking at that. Oh right, I want to go to the build script. So I have these scripts, right? File watch. It's pretty simple. It's just doing I notify stool watch in a shell while loop, and then just calling these make commands. This is for the normal shell, and this is for the JavaScript shell, which will pull in different compilers. And then we just build and build.js. What I want to do instead is, in this case, if we're here, get another file watch that will try, every time it fails, it will keep on looping. So we'll remain in the shell, which will eliminate this initial startup time of about like 2 seconds. And as soon as it succeeds, it will drop out of the shell and come back here to build a JavaScript. And I have to do it like that because I need to make the JavaScript reloadable. It's not really tightly linked to JavaScript and the native code. I also need notifications. Stream, I mean. Can we set that up? Twitch. Enable notifications. This is completely unrelated, but I've been annoyed by that. I want to thank people for following me. I feel it's polite. Just like these better OBSs or something. Oh well. Good. Detect. Oh, this is for browser detection, right? I need to run it as well. So yeah, compilation takes a long time. At this point. Oh, I figured out language as well. Right, that's an important thing. It's this. We'll use contravariance and a lens. That's it. I think we maybe need to also put it in dynamic T. T. Well, it wouldn't be local messages, it would be B. Right, that's how you link it. And we also need to have a T. We need to have a T first. And then you can add a constraint on your function. Can translate. Reflex T. A is the structure I'm coming from, which is env. And B is the thing I want to insert, which is local messages. And if we look at printer, it's basically a function from local messages to text. So if we have any implant issues, we'll get a text out. So now we have like extensible sum types basically, because you can is this contravariant in that you can contramap on it, which means you can make it bigger. You can add bigger sum types on top of that, and which is the solution I was looking for. And we need to put it in dynamic because we can change printers based on language. So we can swap out, if we consider this thing to be printer, English. Actually, it is already printer, language, translate. But this is basically mapping to text from a data type. And if you look at the language, the way you set it up, message to text, that's about it. So now we can let modules specify what messages they're using, and we don't need this large centralized thing anymore. But I will do that another day, because translation is not that important right now. The biggest gain I get out of this is like faster compilation speed, because I can push more shit into libraries. I should play the best music ever. This one. Perfect. Right, let's show what I have done. Yesterday. I streamed? No, I haven't streamed at all yesterday. Huh. I was thinking about doing that, but then life got in the way. Actually, it should... No. We're still sending. Send script is awesome. Always works. Right, every time I change this, then the entire project changes. So it needs to do a large recompile. Which isn't, yeah. Upstreaming this will give a significant performance increase for compilation. Maybe I'll put the screen on black for now. Anyway. Oh, yeah, we need to open another one for incognito. So actually the entire message system right now is being hidden. There you are. Oh, you're not incognito. And I mean hidden because the settings are by default disabled for everyone. So I don't want people to have to use that message system. It's optional because currently they're doing it differently. Oh, I should put it in English too. This is not translated because these are user strings. So there's no need to translate this. They're just text fields. I wouldn't expect an English user to, you know, write in Dutch. So we can... Oh, I haven't deleted that. Split. I have deleted that. I need to delete the entire raster thing again. So you should file watch now. But does anyone know? Because if you search for file watch development, the thing from Amazon pops up, Watchman, or Facebook. Does anyone know how good this is? Where is it in C++? It seems like completely over-engineered. It doesn't even do the thing I wanted to do, manage my shells. So the argument could be made that Tmux is meant for that. The thing that Tmux wasn't good at is like I don't think it could queue. That's it. There's no back pressure. We're not sure if a command has finished or not. It's ready for another command. So what you want to do in case, like the thing I want to make is basically forget. If you're still doing a build, you should just forget, or you should maybe kill it and rebuild, or forget the extra command or something. There is some management going on in there. So it's not trivial to make that in Tmux. So actually, the thing I want to build is not so much a shell management thing, but just something that runs inside the shell and can accept commands and run them. So server. Shell managing shell. What is this? Really? Do you have like DOM access as well? Source, there's source maps. Wow. Took it to the agent project. Provide minimalist interface between ClojureScript and React. Yeah, and then you just build your own little Redux in Clojure. Is it any good though? You wouldn't have any lenses. That's like the biggest advantage. It's an enormous advantage to have for Redux kind of things. Because you get this large state structure, and if you provide lenses to access them, well, maybe Clojure has lenses. There you go. Lenses. Do they compose? Identity lens. Just it. Let's just try it out. I want to try it. People get so excited about Clojure. I think it's the only... I should give it a fair shot. And maybe I'll get annoyed and get rid of it, but... We should also get into macros then. I'm sure if I want to do reagent though. Seems overkill. It allows you to define efficient React components using nothing but plain ClojureScript functions data. Hiccup-like syntax. What's hiccup? Ah, okay. How do you manage state? Oh, okay. Version of Atom. It keeps track of everything every time it's deferred. Any components that use Atom is automatically re-rendered. Its value changes. What is Atom? Shared synchronous independent state. You create an atom with Atom. This is a tautology. You can access. This is the tautology, right? Oh no, it's not. Oh, they mean a function Atom. Probably have to think if I use this. I haven't done it in a while. Oh, it's still loading. It's just slow. I couldn't find the image. What's going on? I've lost this entire thing now. Nani? I'm trying to test out my app, man. All reference types, the intended use of Atom is to hold one closure immutable data structures. Alternate agent. You can change the value by applying a function to the old value. Swap out. You can maybe you give it like a function to change it. By swap. Current value applies the function to it and attempts to compare and set. It's a state monad. It's not. It's doing diffing or something. You must change the value into varying time. It may be have to retry and does so in a spin loop. That sounds dangerous. So this is broken. I'm not sure why. We shouldn't send DHC environment. Oh. I shouldn't even have it there. I've had stuff being broken because of that thing. I don't know what it is. It's basically some shell state in a file, which is generated by Cabal for some reason. Even though we try to be stateless in everything, Cabal wants to have state. Okay. This is done in atomic manner by swap. Yeah, right. In a spin loop, which sounds dangerous, but will always be the result of the application of the supplied function to the current variable automatically. However, because the function might be called multiple times, it must be free of side effects. But what if you change the state in such a manner that you can't do it anymore based upon that function? And we'll just keep on trying and trying, but failing. Oh no, it's like if there is a raise, we'll give you another chance to override. But only if there is a raise. Efficient way to represent some state that will never need to be coordinated with any other. Applicative. So they're all independent of each other. But either like applicative or well, applicative may be dependent on each other, but not visible to user code. For which you wish to make synchronous changes. Independent but asynchronous. Why would you care about threads then if you're synchronous? Okay. Oh, this is part of the language. Oh. Oh, that's cool. Do we have like servant closure? No. Maybe Elm is better then. I haven't done Elm in a while. It's like really easy to get into though. Strict. Is it strict? Last argument is applied. In Elm, a function's value is computed when the last argument is applied. Prevent the function from being applied right away. to compute. Let's see. This is really the best way to do that? Our LED blocks strict now. I would assume this is lazily computed. Why would you need a library for laziness? You can just fake it with the lambdas. I can figure it out soon. Maybe they'll close you out. Try something new. Try something new. Yeah, I want to do the closure. But not now. What the fuck's going on, man? Why aren't you finding anything? I feel we need to redelete. And just send everything again. Oh, I know. It's because this thing is not running in that folder anymore. This folder doesn't exist. I broke it myself by deleting. Okay, how about this for a program? How about this for a program? This is to fix my DevOps problems. I don't know what this is. We listen on std in. Okay. Get std in. And get std out. I go. So I keep on listening forever on std in. Forever. We do listen. This is just pseudocode, right? Listen on std in. Args. Right? This is some program. Some program we want to run. But then we run it in a fork. We fork it off. We get like the handles for it. In, out. We get the handles. Okay, and we just wait. We'll wait until it exits. Wait for exit. Oh. What I want to be able to do, like, no, this is not fork. We should fork and watch or something. A different function. It's like basically an agent setup. So, like, this program will manage the shell through stdin, and it will set up a little protocol with the outside world. So it will like assume any argument is meant for a new program to run in that shell it's currently running in. But if something is already running, it will just give an error saying like, no, you can't do this. So it will give a wrong status code. It will say no. No, it doesn't work like this. It's too simple. I mean, like you don't know if you accept it. You need to block. So the back propagation needs to be around the shell, not inside the shell. Okay, then I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I mean, this shell is basically a resource pool. You would like get this entire management by just using resource pool. So what we create is an action that accepts basically text and runs this in IO. I need to have the handles. It's the process. There's a library that's better than this one. This one sucks. Or is it a good one? Content libraries dealing with processes type prospectus. More recent take on my process API. This is the bad one. This is the good one. It's the process type. And when I've typed. given for the command and argument. Build standard input tree. So you're building a process config and a command. Takes 3 parameters, providing types of standard input. Create a process config for the given command argument. I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to swap out the command you want to run. Command spec. Default process config. Set proc. That command. Yeah, I'm just like wondering why they encapsulate this function and this function. It'd be more useful if they didn't. Because now you need to decide before you get a process config what your config is gonna be, or what your command is gonna be. Making this a bit more hard to use. I can use it though. You just give this as an argument. Data.pool. And then fmap into this. And then fix up the SD in and SD out. Stream spec, stream spec. Give it stream spec. Takes an input raw create process function. Study stream argument. Think to it empty. Oh, okay, so it's like encapsulated. Yeah, okay, yeah. Dealing with those streams was like really hard in the other one. I never got it right. Like, well, I had a hard time getting it right. Because you just have to finick around with it and basically know how to deal with handles and whatever. Stream type handle. Bit pipe. This process in a child. Oh, you can just create a stream plug. And then set this to the end. Oh, you can just create pipes. And stream type. It'll be handle. Right, and then handle will become this one, st input handle. Plus config handle. This will get dropped. Oh, that's nice. st out, st out. Another handle. Oh, I see. Hi Lumi. I'm having processing dreams of process dreams. I want to make my build setups faster, but I was looking at I was just waiting for the thing to finish compiling. Now I can run again. You plan on making it faster, like the app itself. No, this is a build actually. The app's fine. It's not, but it's good enough for now. Oh, I need to reload this one as well. There it is. I want to show what I did yesterday, but I had some issues. Okay. Yeah, the build process. I want to make that fast. Like I want to basically make a shell manager for Nick shells in Haskell. Because I feel like a lot of people, like I at least struggle with this in this case, because I need to switch between shells to make it build. Build. No, not builder. It's file watch. What happens is we first enter the GHC shell to build native code, and then we exit that shell and enter the JavaScript shell to build JavaScript code. But this takes like 2 or 3 seconds to switch shells. So making a shell manager would fix that. I was just speculating on how to do that. And there's this type process which may be useful for that. But I've used processes before in Haskell, and like the standard process library is hard. Like this thing, you're basically talking against C at this point, and you need to know what you're doing, which you usually don't. So this thing makes it a bit more easy. Sounds terrifically done with Bash. Yeah, well, I'm open for suggestions, man. I'm in Bash here. Well, sh but I just don't know how to do it. Let's just like fork stuff right. You can keep track of it. And give like arguments to the subshell. I don't know. And process in the background and then wait for the process to finish. If I do both at the same time, my computer freezes. It's too heavy. Besides, I want to have the build output. That's why I made, like, I had them before like this. Well, like this, right? So they would run at the same time. Still doesn't really fix my problem, and it also like it just becomes really confusing what's going on. So I made it in sequence again. Seems to be the best. Right. What I want is that, like, I don't want it to just be disowned. I also want it to stay in the shell. I want to send this command make build to a shell. It's like a Tmax problem. To a file. And then filter and restream it after it. And then like this file watch thing, it will just keep on sending, keep on forking off new. Well, no, if you wait on it, you don't have that problem. I just want to keep the shell open. I want to keep the Nix shell open and send this command to it. So basically I want to... but then again, if it changes, I want to kill it and restart it. So like the setup becomes really complicated for just bash, I think. Hidden shell process and then just till the file. So you can have more than a single shell tilling it. Yeah, no, I just... I can't think of anything it's gone to. I mean, yeah, that's all, like... This is already pretty fucking useful, right? It's just slow. I want to make it faster, and every time I've attempted something, it's just, you know, falling. Enter. I want to keep this thing open and send commands to it. But I want to have back pressure. I can use a file for that. Ah, actually. Oh well, I'm not gonna do this right now because I'm spending too much time on this anyway. Yesterday I've been looking at this for an hour or two. And it's just not that important. It's only a couple of seconds. So what I did yesterday is if you want to write out now someone, the current time gets selected and time worked gets automatically calculated based on this ending time. So in this case, because it's 18 and this is before, we assume it's long. Because it's the current time. And we can fix it to something else. And it will automatically update the stuff. And this one becomes the max length of this thing is the amount of time worked. So if we put it all the way to the back, it becomes 0 always. So all this stuff is like interconnected with each other. So that's good. This is now, I think this is now pretty easy to use. What did I add? Oh, the other thing I did is I made settings. So the approval, if you're a planner, you automatically approve yourself always. But, and we can actually see it in the debug comments. This stuff gets filtered out in production, but it's useful for myself. And it's automatically approved. Let's see. Right, and the other thing I did is fix the times. So now it gets counted here. I still missed a button. Where is it? Oh well. Maybe I'll just keep it like this for always. But the other one works really well for wider screens. Anyway, so this gets counted correctly now. 306, 306. And if we do this one as well. Well, this one probably needs to be approved first. But we can see the hidden messages. So the thing I need to build today is settings. Is hidden. Look at that. So which one were we editing? Jenske. Right, I should put it in English. So we can approve this one, right? That's Tuesday. Dates are wrong. Oh, that's because it's English, right? So, and now the time gets updated as well. So everything works nicely. Well, why not just run a bash script from within X shell and do the unnotified stuff in there? Yeah, I've been thinking about that. How would I make this one update then? Like, I need to make this, which is another shell, right? And it needs to start whenever the other one has finished. So whenever this one is successful, I need to make a JavaScript build as well to make it like seamless. Because currently, every time I change this stuff, like anything in here, both the native stuff and the JavaScript stuff get updated. I can just build only JavaScript. Actually, that's a pretty good idea. We'll keep everything simple. Make watch.js. Okay, let's do that. And then every time I want to, because like currently, if I want to run the native code, it's gonna build anyway. So I don't even need to care about native. No, but if I'm changing the native code, then it will be annoying. The backend stuff, I mean. I know, we'll just echo to a file and watch that file from the JavaScript builder. How about that? Yeah, we're gonna do that. So we copy this one. Not HS, it's JS, sure. Okay, so the build system becomes a little bit more complicated, but that's fine. And we're just gonna watch like a file, I don't know. That file. And then we assume, like, we're currently assuming that we're in the JS shell anyway. Can delete all this other shit. Yeah. And what was the file name? One of the big problems I have with Bash is that I can't share variables easily across files. So we're assuming make build. And once you finish the build, you will echo to the file. Which I have in my buffer. No. 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 Okay. I should add a date too. Printf. I want to have daytime. Is this just ZSH being annoying? Wrong quotes. Who the hell knows? Look at that. Beautiful. Can I have oops. Yeah, right, you just set up right. There you go. So we finished the build, and then we echo rebuild with the current date into JSON build. And if you go to watch.js, what this does is just keeps on watching the JSON build, and we'll call it. But the nice thing about this is it will drop too many arguments. Like if this goes faster for some reason, I still wanna, like, I kind of wanna kill this one if we do another build then. But that's another problem. Maybe we can give it, no, let's not do that. We'll just p-kill all GHCS. No. Okay, let's try this out then. So I need to open another shell. Yet another shell. So this is make enter JS. I don't know why this doesn't work. Oh, because I'm running maybe? Go ahead. Attribute shells and select your path. You don't have shells? I know. We need to say we want to use default. Yeah, like we just do make shell. Okay. And then we'll just watch.js. Okay, please send. It should send it now. So you'll watch JS. I notify when command not. Just add some build tools. Which you totally can do. Shell override. Like plain. Tools. I remember seeing it somewhere. What a fool I am. I probably should just look at their project thing. Oh no. Shell tool override. Identify weight missing. What did I call it? I think that's this something else. I just wanted to have it pulled into scope. No, it's file directory. Just make it then. Did you send? There you go. So that's one. And that's two. And we see it working now, right? So if this doesn't build, it doesn't build, so the JavaScript doesn't build either. But as soon as it builds, we have a bit of a delay because it needs to send to the other computer, but whatever. It just builds way faster. Okay, we've done more DevOps. Hooray! So yeah, we made it faster. Great. That was easy. Now this one's gonna build. Cool. Ah. I just want to have it out of my way. Actually, it doesn't matter at all if they both build. Because we can show it works by the way now. Let's show it. This building stuff happens on the other laptop, so it doesn't matter if it takes a bit longer for like if they work at the same time. It doesn't matter if the other laptop freezes. The stream won't freeze or anything, but it's fine. I should buy a more beefy machine. Yeah, we just made that spell error, right? And we fixed it. Good, like that. Cool. Well, no, shells. It'll be annoying if you add dependencies or something, because then I need to restart the shells. But it doesn't happen that often, so I'm more happy with having that small speed up increase than worrying about that. Let's see, what did I want to do? Right, we showed what we did yesterday. I think it mostly works. Oh, I wanted to. So let's make settings now. I just want to have a nice input for that. Read checkboxes. I actually want to have switches that go left and right. Do you have that in HTML? Native. That's a bunch of CSS. Ah, it's a range. Ah. That's clever. Yeah, radio doesn't work, so we need to do checkbox. Even disable it. Yeah, fine with that. I have unnotify watch in the Linux config files, so you can just touch those. You want to restart? Good. I'm not sure what you mean. is owner, right? So first thing we need to do, these settings are only visible for the owner. So I'll make like a little predicate around it. Or like I'll use the predicate for that, around that. I think when is the function I use. When are. But when can be used for more lines. Because you have the default empty. So we'll do when is owner grep. Let's be cool. So the result of this function gets from like this reads out of the environment, the credential, and then we because it's a reader, we need to use the monad thing to send it to the next function. Right, and the predicate is on is owner, right? So that anything that has a role, which will be a credential as well. Maybe grant even. You have role? Yeah, you have role. What am I doing? So because grant has a role, we can just use the role lens for this owner. We just use the role lens. Makes a little predicate around it. Actually, I want to put something else in here. The subscription and stuff. Let's go to main. Let's look at the app itself then. Oh, this is the wrong one. Need to get another incognito window to get both roles open. Look at that. I'm not sure why browsers all get excited about tabs. You know, you can just use your window manager for that stuff. Oh, there's the button. I lost it. I need to restart again. Prevalent of the scope. Yes, I'm reinventing logic. Are you blaming me? Is owner. Oh, I think I didn't advertise. Oh well, whatever. doesn't know about ground. Well, what sounds about ground? Could not deduce has ground. The use of ground. Oh no, it did know about ground. Could not deduce has ground. View ground. I'm doing it wrong. Okay, let's just not be fancy then. There you go. Is active. Company settings. We're gonna throw you into the fray. Maybe I won't touch subscription actually, because it produces an event. What I want to do is I want to show that actually. Did you load? Oh, you loaded. Nice. I want to make it like the same thing, basically. Right. So this is like a subscription. I should make it English. You're a roster subscription. Cancel subscription. Whatever. I want to make it like company settings. And then also put that in. Name shadowing is active. Yeah, I like the faster build times. Now we're just waiting on the sending stuff. I think I can also make that faster. Why do I do this? I mean, if we just assume that everything is run within Nick shell, this also becomes faster. Because we'll have rsync with SSH. let's just do that. I like fast things. And the scripts also become simpler, so what's not to like? So what we do now is just nick shell and then send. I think it entered file watch every time. I mean, it entered the nick shell every time it wanted to do the file watch. Does it work? Oh, thanks, Lumi. Oh no, I need to copy. Copy URL. Revo Q. What is this? Make FIFO. Bubba's queue. Create enqueue. Consumer sh with flow contents. Start consumer sh in the shell where you want to run the commands. Let's see. So you're reading this. Oh, you're writing to this, right? Q. What does make FIFO do? Create named pipes FIFO for the given names. Mandatory arguments to long options are mandatory for short options too. Oh, it's new. First in, first out. I see, so this will run inside the nick shell. No, you shouldn't cut like this. You should store it in a variable and then send it to the bash command. Because then it can enqueue multiple and you forget first in, first out. I want to forget. Like, it will happen, I will have more events firing because of file watch than I want to build. So, like, I just want to forget up till the most recent one. So this is to I don't think you need a FIFO thing. You can just use the same structure and just always override. The command. This is beautiful. This works for multiple commands. And they will be... Did I forgot? No, not throttling. Like, it's even more stupid. It's just like the most recent command I want to execute. Or block. I think cat does that. Just on regular files. But not the most recent, if it has not already been executed. Yeah, like it needs to be cleared, but you can do this in a consumer, right? File system will handle races. So what you do, you should like read one command from that thing and then clear it. So it's not really a consumer anymore, it's like a lock thing going on. With the file system in between. But this works fine, like what I have right now, I'm quite happy with that. Except the shell, like when I edit dependencies, it's a bit of a pain. Bash is blocking, I think, until FIFO gets destroyed. So the loop is superfluous. Yeah, I would imagine so, yeah. Oh, this gives a name to the file or something. Never seen this syntax. Well, this is a file. This is potentially a name then or something. Stored in FIFO, make FIFO. If it doesn't exist in the environment. It's very defensive programming. Sets the FIFO variable to the default variable. I explained it earlier. I notified watch next config. Post if you want them to restart. Well, to avoid restarting the shell, let's just bash what does finds the queue file and then writes the command queue thing. If you this works. FIFO bash blocking until FIFO gets destroyed. You just keep on killing FIFO. No. You fire but default variable unless it's set. Okay. It runs inside Nick shell. This thing will insert commands, so make build in my case. But then how do I kill the thing? I can destroy it. If the so people have one watch for right. This one just watches the default.nix. No, this watches everything. Then it doesn't know when it's finished. So you need to have another thing. Oh my god, this is way too complicated. I just want to have a simple build. Because this one just managed the one build thing, but then you have the other one that also needs to be delegated to. So the JavaScript one. Which will be another FIFO thing. Yeah, Q. But I made a crappy queue, right, with file watch. Well, it's not even a queue, it's just... I think I have the behavior I want. Except I can't manage the Nick shells. That's like the problem I want to solve. I can just use pkill, I think. For that. Maybe I can like name Nick shells or something. Next. Kill all the Nick shells. Let's look at subscription. Should be faster now, right? Look at that! Almost instantly. Company settings. Oh, main. I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, we made it better, man. Like that send script is better now, and it's no longer entering Nick shell every time. So we shaved up like 5 seconds per like per loop. So it's good now. But like I meant we just fixed startup times right now for compile times. Hours. Yeah, I'm not there. And I also like, well, I spent some time on getting rid of template Haskell, which helped a lot. And I'm not building on this machine, I'm building on the other machine, which has all CPU power available for compilation. Yeah, generics everywhere. You get like a co-product thing or something. Another product. It's called product. Yeah. Data template has class. Yeah, compile time performance. Pretty sure you're better off for runtime with template Haskell because it can do optimizations better than this. Yeah, a little bit. But they're for getters and setters, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Although, like, what this replaces, it's pretty trivial. I think it's like this. Some people really don't like boilerplate. So somebody made like an entire project just to reduce this duplication to this. And it's big too. And there's a lot of time spent into that. So wrong way around? Wrong way around. Use Haskell embedded in Lisp. New implementation. Use Lisp macro to do code generation. Problem fixed. I think there's also like I saw a research project that retrofitted Haskell's type Lisp system on top of Lisp. Because they wanted to do typed macros with like the Lisp, and if you want to do Lisp like macros, you basically need the Lisp syntax. I forgot, I saw it. Rascal. Is it this one? But if you get this right, get like Lisp syntax, and also like Haskell like type systems, and make them play nicely together. And yeah, I totally would use that instead of. Maybe it's Rascal. Java. I heard about Racket, but not Rascal. Type macros, by the way. I think the very recent template Haskell is bad. It's critical you have IO turnaround times. Fast end to end to make a change. Have it running the program with program state loaded cycles. I've never really gotten into macros at all. Like I have not ever. Well, I may have done some C macros, but that's about it. I knew they were pretty good in Rust and Scala, but I tend to, like, if I can't see it, because you're basically hiding a bunch of code, right? Nothing like CPU. You can implement type systems with Lisp. You can do anything with Lisp. Don't they like do it in Racket? They pull back. They take. They go from untyped to typed. Like they pull in types. Make your dream language. What's the source code for Core Racket? Yeah, it's basically macros. I need to make an endpoint, actually. Now come to think of it. No way to pass state between macros. You could do that? Well, like we'll find out soon because I'm gonna make basically a personal branding kind of thing, and I want to maybe do it in Clojure script for my website. You said this one was good, right? Yeah. Seems interesting. But that'll be later. I need to finish this first. I have a bit of a deadline with this. Oh no, I want to have the other settings. Let's make like a patch for company. Patch? Yeah. No. Okay. I'm in the wrong one. Hey Jitaro. I'm good, man. How are you? How are you? By the way, Whitney seemed to be advocating against Haskell all the time. It's only because I love Haskell so much. Good by that. Yeah, no worries, man. Like, I feel most people that are critical against Haskell have actually used it. I'm hungry. Yeah, me too, man. Won't be any food in a while, so let's continue. Because you know, like with Haskell, it's the case that people that are outside of it usually see it as a language that is like awesome and whatever. You can all do all this kind of magic, and then you start using it for a while and you kind of start missing things. Like dependent types. Where are my dependent types? Record? What do you call it? The open records things? So I'm going to prepare something to eat. Have a nice meal, man. Everything blows up. Something to pay. Subscribe. Tell subscribe. Right settings. Right, and another thing I want to look into is lambda calculus. Well, truth is constant. Apparently. I think false is truth. A to B to B. I'm sure if this type checks. No, we don't even get here. Fill earlier. Use local bind. Right settings. Sub. By the way, it may be too late, but what distribution are you using? I found it's something Linux, but I don't know. It's so the window manager is i3, and the distribution is Nixos. No, only this thing is Xforce. There's a thing you can do. Like Xforce is really it's actually composable with other window managers. Nixos. This thing is reproducible build. Yeah. But Xforce specifically can combine with other window managers, which makes it like really cool. So you can slap Xforce bar on top of I don't know, anything else that's like respectable of X. Let's see, where do we have it? Xforce panel. So I just boot it up, and then it overwrites the normal bar, and I have all this crap. No worries, man. But if you want to have like a setup like this, you just need to have i3 and Xforce panel. That's it. I wouldn't dive into Nixos for that. Yeah, type errors. I don't even know if this... day we are at. I mean, you can do it in Ubuntu as well. And dip into Nix before you migrate to Nixos. You like it. Arch Linux, are people like... When I started with Linux, I thought Arch Linux itself was pretty hardcore. But maybe the opinion has changed. You're so fantastic fan of Linux. Yeah, I suppose so. Fanboy I was called. I mean, I'm just avoiding pain. That's why I use it. Arch Linux is pretty easy, the point community is great. Good learning resources. Yeah, the wiki, I used that when I was using Gentoo a lot. Because the Arch wiki is so... Well, it's basically useful for any other distribution as well, right? But now I just stare at Nix derivation all day to figure things out. Which also works, but... Oh, I know. It's this thing. There's a bit of boilerplate going on here. But that's fine, because this boilerplate prevents, allows us to not write any logic. Let's just fetch this thing. No, this one has an argument, it's easier maybe. Unfortunately, these don't compose. I don't know why, I'm pretty sure that's a bug, but... Or I'm doing something weird. Well, I'm doing something weird, but... Right, and this doesn't have an implementation because... It's generated. Like I said, the boilerplate avoids us to write any logic. It's starting to get unmanageable. But we can push it further, I think. Yeah. Oh, I didn't rename it. Right, settings. There you have it. missing an S. Company things. There you go. Look at your desktop developing app. Yeah. Are you talking to Lumi or? Not in scope settings. But we can make this file bigger, that's fine. Oh no. Yeah. Ambiguous occurrence of truth? How could truth be ambiguous? What's up with that now? Already defined truth. Oh, this compiles. Cool. How did they do that then? I saw some GitHub project. Lots of people are doing this, okay. That's unfortunate. I don't know. Let's just get rid of it. Maybe another time. Oh no! I thought it was original. It's so hard to fix packages when something isn't available. STLC? What is STLC? Software testing lifecycle? That doesn't seem right. Simply type language calculus. Ah, okay. But it's cool. Isn't the Haskell its own little thing at this point? Because they have also type level functions. I don't think you have that in STLC. Is it like a system? Omega. And coercions with the GADTs? How about that? I bet that's not in STLC. It's ridiculous. Well, they implement it through coercions, but in the core at least. But they want to go to the final magical point where they also have dependent types, right? They're not there yet. Unification of the entire thing. It will be beautiful. couldn't match type. No content with reservation map. I actually already have done this settings thing. No, only reading. I just need to make an endpoint. Okay. I have to pay. So what I wanted to do was actually draw. Well, you know, there's this Curry-Howard isomorphism between category theory, logic, and lambda calculus, I think. Yeah, those three. And then I just want to do a products and co-products into all those three things. So having the equivalent in logic and the equivalent in lambda calculus. It shouldn't be too hard to do. But even that is probably something lots of people do. Oh, there's another guy. Nice meal, man. Curry-Howard lambda correspondence. It's not even an isomorphism. Oh, you can't do it because because you lack category theory to prove it in. So you can only call it a correspondence. That's a late addition. Yeah. I think category theory, like as being popular, is is a really recent thing. I was at that Lambda Jam conference once, and there was a PhD that gave a keynote about category theory. And because like the room was filled with Haskell colors, I was like, oh, I've never seen so many people interested in this. What am I doing? We'll just add batch company. How big is pay? Oh, it just has everything in here, okay. Well, that's fine, we'll just put it in a company folder. Simply type in the calculus and logic. Yeah, with the proof trees. I think I've done that. I remember doing something like that. Like during my masters. But I didn't like mention that. So I didn't know at the time. Often used interchangeably in this context. But you can't do that, I think. Because if you include the thing you're proving, like category tree theory is the same as logic and lambda calculus, then you need to have another system to prove that. Because of Gödel or something. I want to have an endpoint. I'm just looking for the types. That's all. Maybe one credential. Yeah, that's better. I'm not using that grant anymore at all. I can delete that. Am I? I can delete it. I prefer using proofs as program, easy to understand for everybody not familiar with the subject. Propositions as types. What programs? I haven't thought about like, because like if I start talking about the category theory, I feel if people are interested in that, then it becomes really hard to, you know, put it back to the real world without bastardizing things. I'm not sure how to make it accessible or anything. Like I haven't even gotten to that point. What is get grant then? Get grant prime. It's not here. Huh? The second one. Maybe they changed the order of things. Probably. Right. It's not in there. It's his own little thing. Okay, cool. Then delete a lot of code. But I want you. Here. For the types. I could give you my thoughts on abstractions like category thinking. I think ultimately this extra structure may inspire connections idea, but fundamentally a way to take something simple to add extra layers of complexity to it. It's mostly formalism that gets in the way more than it helps. It allows mathematicians to, you know, prove things between fields, which may be useful. When I design APIs, I start with category theory for modeling problems. But before I finish designs, I generally remove all notions of category theory modifications and change things to more easily align it with other requirements. I have never used category theory for programs. I wouldn't even know where to start. Well, I'm also not that experienced with it or anything, so maybe that's a problem. I'm just like going to the meetup, you know, and I'm trying to connect things with other things to make it easier to understand or something. And if you make these connections between logic, category, and lambda, you know, maybe it becomes easier. I wonder how that works. How do you design a program with category theory as the start? It seems really hard. I'll just do undefined for now. Yeah. Company settings. Allows us to different way of organizing things. Oh, you can delete even more things. That's good. Well, functor monad, so category, functor monad, etc. All category theory concepts. Although, when you use things like these in practice, you don't always use them in full generality. But even like the ADTs are products and co-products are tuple and either, right? Or sums. So yeah, if you look at it that way, it's kind of similar. That being said, to clarify, start with, I mean, you may use some concept in the start. You remove them later on, not exclusively here, just as an aid or an other technique. Yeah, I do it differently. Like I just start somewhere and keep on looking for things to help me over time. Well, maybe that's the same, but okay. To make things compositional, thinking about category theory is very useful. Huh. Don't you want to make everything an arrow? Or is arrow not category theory? Because I know monad is Claesley. Like, and in the meetup they introduced Claesley before they did product and co-product. And it was kind of confusing to me, because I think it's like the wrong order. Oh, there is a pay. Okay, let's move this entire thing then into company. That's annoying. Keep the modules the same structure as the API. No idea if this is a good idea, but I need to save everything. You could always about design without really saying anything useful here, because it's a big subject. You could also talk hours about it and say something useful. I mean, I just don't. At the moment, I don't see how to go from like that approach. Like it's not the way how I design things. Usually start with hardest things first. Hardest things first because they're uncertain. Or like, yeah, well, the most uncertain things first. Try to figure those out. And then go back from there. We should find a replace. I don't think so. Yeah, we got it. Designing a solution. Or maybe like in the problem space you work in, you have deal much less with the uncertainty, and then you can take another approach. I was just thinking that, like, if you already kind of know what you want to do, then it's much easier to just take a approach like you mentioned. Settings. I can just delete everything in settings. Like most things. Except settings. Yeah, that's what you mentioned too, right? Like you get rid of a lot of things later on, and I also do that. Just cut out the pieces you don't need. The saying, true artist knows when to stop when there's nothing to take away or something. Enough time on the sign. I don't think I have an explicit point where I do any design. So maybe I'm also most programmers. I need to have servant. And settings. Oh, this is not a set. Oh no. I need to rename this. I think it's more like env anyway. Web server settings. Name clashes. I will just. It should have a different name. Maybe reader or something. Or dependencies. We call it dependencies. Because this is my dependency injection solution thing. You call it like that in Scala or something maybe? Oh, we have warnings. Warnings means we're done. In pay we have warnings. One. What's the backend pay Molly? Right, oh, this is not a warning, this is an import error. Well, iteration. Actually, notice, right, I already read that. Most programming problems are trivial, you know, design is needed for that. But when you actually get something which needs design, I see programmers feel unproductive during design. Nothing bad about sitting down for a week and doing detailed design without writing any code. Yeah, make diagrams. If you're in a team, then diagrams often help with communication about that stuff. Yeah, well, like, how would you think people? Like, talking about things is a great way to think. Right? It's some of the early writings from philosophy were in dialect form because it's just a way to progress, I think. It's also like the duck type debugging, right? But I need to go. So I'll be back tonight. Maybe I'll finish this. No, I'll be back tonight, and then we're probably gonna do some closure script. But it'll be around 7, I think. Yeah. Yeah, 2 hours is fine. Yeah, you can talk about things. You can use math, I think. Just write things for yourself. Whatever the process, I don't call this in code. Yeah, me neither. But I'm leaving. Is anyone online? Oh, a mathematical way. Thanks for following. No need to thanks, man. Thanks for watching, man. Yeah, see you guys later. Maybe I'll do a raid. If I can find anyone. Does anyone have any preference? Man versus C? Man versus code. Is anyone doing like Lisp or Scala or Haskell? Haskell exercises. Look at that. A mathematical way. Oh, the guy just followed. Nice. Let's raid him. So, still shout Scala or something. Oh no, closure! Starting now.